Welcome back, students and YouTubers. Today we're using oil pastels, learning some techniques for our upcoming abstract painting, and we're going to focus on creating contrast and form. Right over here we're using Crayolas oil pastels. They're pretty good. I just think there's some other brands that are a little more easily blended. But they're pretty good, and that's what our students are using for the most part. So we're going to go with that. So you grab a couple of colors, at least three, some lights and darks. If you don't have white, you can use a bunch of light colors like peach and yellow. And I don't use black. I use dark blue, just like the Impressionists. Okay, so we're going to put down a layer of white. Now this is called scumbling because we are scribbling neatly, and we're leaving some of the paper because if you cover up all the paper will not take any more oil. So make sure you scribble neatly. We are using this concept, you notice, called the rule of threes, because we need at least 3 different layers above our oil. So I do white, and then we're doing green, and then we're going to move on and do blue. And so eventually we're going to move and start blending. Now you can use a blending stump, but to clean those you have to use sandpaper. Yeah, we could use a paper towel, which is what we're going to do, and I'm going to fold that and try to show you that in this speed paint thing. Now if we blend from dark to light, our dark is going to taint our white. So we are going to follow Anakin Skywalker's example and go from the light side to the dark side. We could also use our magical finger, and I'm scumbling by doing small little circles with my paper towel there, and that way you don't really see a line, you see just smooth transitions of gray. I mean not gray, but gradation. All right, over here we're going from light to dark. I'm going to put the light on the left side and the dark on the right side. We're building up layers just like we did before. We're scumbling. We are creating contrast by putting one value on one side and another value on the other that are opposite. That is contrast, which is a design principle. And so this creates visual interest. So that's what we're trying to do. Then we're going to blend from light to dark, and then we're going to go from light to dark on the other side as well, trying to stay clean. If you make a mistake, you can grab something like a paper clip and scrape it off. Oil pastels will dry, and then you can go over them or scrape them off and try to reapply. So that's what I'm trying to do here. All right, here we go. What I'm doing is I'm planning out where my values go, trying to make those contrasting values next to each other. So I'm just planning them out with a dark color and a light color. It really doesn't matter. So here you go. Pick out some colors that work well together. Think about color schemes, but you can also go crazy and just use whatever you want and hope it turns out. But color schemes are usually the way to go. So I'm building up layers. Remember, if you add red on top of a dark blue, it kind of looks almost black. So that's what I'm doing almost every time. I've never been using black in this image at all. Okay, so just keep on building this up. This whole section takes me about 9 minutes, but I've been doing this for a while. So it should take my in-class students about the whole class period, or maybe 2 class periods, but not anything longer than that to finish this. So just keep on adding the values. It's important to know if you work all at once like I'm doing, that's fine. But if you leave it for a couple of days, the oil is going to dry out and you're not going to be able to blend new layers. You're going to have to add a little bit more oil and blend that. So I would work in section at a time so you can blend things smoothly. If it's not blending well, then you need to add a little bit more oil. And when you are pushing, whether it's a paper towel or your finger or blending stump, do not push too hard, because if you do, you're just going to remove the oil from the paper and it's going to look more dirty, dingy. The oil is going to give it that bright color. You see I go back over with the white after to kind of increase that highlight, that contrast, and then I'm going to go back over with some dark blues and reds in some areas. Continuing to blend here. If your fingers get all oily, you can put a piece of paper between your work and your hand. That way you will keep your hand and your work from smudging. So we'll keep on blending here. And this should give you the sense of form, like a fluid movement with those organic shapes. All right, I hope you guys learned something. Hope it was fun. Please like, subscribe, and hope to see you guys back again. Take care, guys.